You've probably heard that networking is important to land a business analytics job, but how do you network? In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to network. Hi everyone, I am Elizabeth Illig, a career coach and higher education professional, and we are going to be talking about how to network in today's video. Before I dive into that, you are here on our channel, How to Get an Analytics Job, and if you want more content related to how to get an analytics job, feel free to ring the bell and you'll get notifications whenever we post. I also have to give a shout out to our sponsor, HQ Greensboro, which is where John David and I work, and this is a wonderful space. It's a place where we meet with clients, we shoot our videos, we do our podcast, and it's a great space in downtown Greensboro. So big shout out to HQ Greensboro for being our sponsor. All right, let's dive into our content, which is how to network. So you saw from a previous video what networking is, and networking is all about relationship building. So I'll link you to that previous video where I talked about what networking is and why it's important. For today, just know that networking is relationship building, and how do we do that? The best way to do that is through informational interviews. Informational interviews are when you sit down with a professional in a company, a field, an industry, or a position that interests you. And what you're doing is you're grabbing coffee with them, you're maybe even going to lunch with them, you're getting them on the phone or a video call to ask questions about what they do. This is a great way for you to gain some insider knowledge about a particular company, a particular job, a particular industry. So informational interviewing is a wonderful way for you to network. And it's what I want you to do when you're networking. So with that in mind, let's talk about how to do that. What the steps are to do some of these informational interviews. Number one, you want to be thinking about who to reach out to. So you can do this organically by talking to people who are within your own network, asking your family, asking friends, asking your mom's hairdresser's sister for recommendations of people who are in business analytics fields. But you can also get on LinkedIn. You can go to LinkedIn to the page where your university is, and you can look at alumni on that page. You could even look at specific companies. Let's say that you want to work for Sparkly Unicorn Company and you are super jazzed about them. Well, you can go to Sparkly Unicorn Company's LinkedIn page and you can see who all works for them that has a LinkedIn profile. And that's a way that you can find people as well. So building up and finding those people to reach out to through LinkedIn, through just your organic network, are two ways that you can find folks to reach out to. Second step here, you've found those folks that you want to reach out to. Now it's time to reach out. You want to reach out with a very nicely worded email. So what you want to do is you want to say why you're reaching out, who referred you, if anyone, and some times that you are available to meet with this professional. So let's give an example of a script that you could use. Hi, Mr. Taryn. Sarah Conrad gave me your information to discuss market research positions. I'm currently a business analytics student at X University, and I'm really interested in market research. I would love to find a time to chat with you if you're open to it. If so, I'm available on these dates, and then I would list the dates. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. Something as simple as that would be a perfect email to reach out with. Now, what you're doing there is you're telling this person who referred you, if anyone. If nobody referred you, you can absolutely say something like, hey, we went to the same university, or hey, we're in this same professional association, or hey, we're in this same professional organization. Whatever it might be, however you got referred to them or found them, you can mention in that email. And make sure that you're saying why you want to reach out. So in this instance, we want to learn more about market research. And finally, make sure that you give them some times, phrase it very nicely, say if you're open to it, I'd love to chat with you, here are some times that I'm available. That's what we're looking for when you're reaching out with this nicely worded email. I often get the question, well, what happens if they don't respond? So let's say that they don't respond, and if it's been 7 days, follow up. So absolutely follow up after 7 days. If you're on a really tight timeline and you're really wanting to learn more about this company because you have a job offer or something like that, then you can follow up within 3 business days or after 3 business days. So give them the 3 business days, then you can follow up. That's a really common question, but don't be afraid to follow up 7 days afterwards if you're not on a tight timeline and 3 business days afterwards if you are. So we've covered who you're going to reach out to. We've covered how to reach out. Let's talk about the third step, which is preparing for this informational interview. And this is really going to encompass 4 different things. So when we are preparing for an informational interview, we first and foremost want to research the professional and the company. We then want to do some digging into who we are as a professional and what we bring to the table. We third want to think about what questions to ask this professional, what questions we're going to make sure that we ask them. And fourth, we want to make sure that we have our surroundings and our professional dress ready to go. So let's take these one by one. Number 1, you're going to research the company and you're going to research the professional. So you can research the professional on LinkedIn. Let's say they don't have an extensive LinkedIn profile. That's okay. Google them and see what you can find. And this is just so you can learn more about their career trajectory and career history. You also want to research the company. You want to make sure that you're reading some current news about the company. You're looking at if they're in a professional journal, if there's any recent articles about them. You're aware of that. And of course, you can look on their website and their LinkedIn company page, but I want you to go beyond that and also see if they've been in the news recently. So you've researched the company, you've researched that's the professional. That's sort of the first part of this preparation. Second part is you're going to make sure you know how to talk about yourself. So review your resume, think about your answers to questions like, tell me about yourself, or what are your strengths and weaknesses? Make sure that you know how to answer, why are you interested in market research, if that's what you came to talk to the professional about. And then be prepared. They may ask you some questions about their company. So what about our company do you like? What products or services do you like? Be prepared for questions like that. The third thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have questions to ask this professional. So you want to come prepared with a list of questions that you absolutely get answered. You ask them, you're prepared. It makes you look more polished and professional to do so. And finally, on the polished and professional train of thought, I want you to make sure that you are thinking about your surroundings and what you're wearing. So if you're going to meet face-to-face with this person, just be aware of if they have a certain dress code at their company and try to match that. If you're going to be on a video call, same thing there. Make sure on the video call that you have a good internet connection and your background is pretty professional. And then with a phone call, make sure that you have good service and there isn't a lot of background noise. Those are just some things that will make you look even more polished. So that encompasses preparing for the informational interview. So you've prepared, it's time to do it. So next step is you're going to go into that informational interview and conduct it. You're going to ask these great questions. You can take a notebook with you and take notes, and you're going to shine because you've prepared for it. So the final step, the last step, is following up. And what you want to do is you want to send a nice thank you email within 24 hours of meeting this professional. So you want to make sure that you're thanking them for their time and expressing something that you learned from them. Then, if this professional gave you another contact to reach out to, make sure that you're doing that within 48 hours. After you do that, you can circle back around to this first professional and say, hey, I was able to chat with Sarah Jones, or I was able to contact Sarah Jones. I'm looking forward to speaking with her. Then that's your immediate follow-up. But what you want to do is you also want to have long-term follow-up, which means you're following up monthly or bi-monthly. And this can happen anytime you have a good career update. So let's say you had a really great interview. Awesome. Update this person. Let's say that you got connected to another person, learned a lot from them. Great. Tell that first professional that you were able to network and meet this other person. Anytime you have a good career update like that, you can circle back around. I wouldn't harass them, of course. Monthly or bi-monthly is good, but you do want to keep that relationship open. Let's say you don't have a career update to give them. Well, you can ask them for resources or advice. So that's another way that you could follow up if you don't have a particular career update that you want them to be aware of. That covers follow-up. You now have heard the steps in informational interviewing, which is what you do when you're networking, the best way to network. So you're going to make that list of people you want to reach out to. You're going to send nicely worded emails. You're going to prepare. You're going to do the informational interview, and then you're absolutely going to follow up. That's what I want you to do when you're networking. I hope this video has taught you a little bit about how to network. And if you want more information, I'm going to link down there information that is a little more extensive about how to do some networking and informational interviewing. It's actually my guide for my career coaching practice to informational interviewing and networking. So feel free to check that out if you want more details about questions they might ask you, questions you can ask them, how to prepare, more specifics on this topic. Thank you for tuning in to our channel, How to Get an Analytics Job.